But do you see any hope for a more rational foreign policy from the candidates in the Democratic Party for president?
We do have some rational Democratic candidates who are in touch with reality and do have a good sense of the outside world. John Edwards, I think of immediately, former Governor Richardson, and Joe Biden for our centrist Democrats.
And Kucinich, I think, has been...
And Dennis Kucinich, for sure. I think he would probably be at top of the list, but I didn't even mention him because none of these candidates have the least chance, as right now, of winning. And the funding is going to the candidates who are associated more with current U.S. policy and with a total failure of the Democratic Party to stand up and oppose the Bush administration's policies.
And what do you see from at the moment, at least, the likely next president of the United States, Senator Clinton? Do you see any a rational voice for foreign policy there? Recently, she voted for the Kyle Lieberman amendment, declaring the Iranian Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. She actually seems to be making her rhetoric, at the very least, more militant rather than less moderate.
This is a very disturbing sign. She's shifted from a sort of a leftist position to a far rightist position. She is getting a lot of support from special interests who want to see a war happen. She's abandoned her sort of democratic roots, and most important, in her role as a senator, what little experience she's had, she is not fulfilling her role in the Senate as being a check and a balance on the policies of the White House that have gone far astray.
What are you seeing in the Republican field in terms of rational voices for foreign policy?
Hardly a murmur. You have Ron Paul.
But we should, for the record, let people know that you're someone who used to be a supporter of the Republican Party.
I admit here officially that I'm a rogue Republican, and my party has moved so far to the right that I look like I'm on the left.
Is there anyone in the Republican field that has a voice for a more rational foreign policy?
Well, certainly not the leaders. They are trying to out-Bush Bush, and I think particularly of Rudy Giuliani, who surrounded himself with some of the most extreme right-wing crackpot advisors like Norman Podhoretz, who's advocating World War III against the Muslim world.
We don't see a major shift in Bush policy between now and then. There's, in fact, if anything, more saber-rattling against an attack on Iran and how they could possibly think of the consequences of what an Iranian attack, a U.S. attack on Iran might be, plus the Turks over here. I mean, you and I were talking earlier in the week, and I said to you, this feels like pre-World War I politics. We've got a heck of a powder keg developing here.
Well, you're absolutely right. I don't know if it's another Sarajevo, but certainly an American attack on Iran would put the whole region afire. It would, if American policy could get any worse, it would be. America's bull in a china shop policies already destabilized the entire Middle East. And now it threatens to drag Turkey and Saudi Arabia and other countries into the area. Never mind an attack against Pakistan, too, which is also looming in the wings. So we have an administration in Washington that is so bankrupt of policy and so ignorant of the area that it's dealing in that it is militarizing all of its responses and thinking only attack, as Arnold Burgraff wrote, fuir en avance, which means to flee forward. You're running away from your problems by going even deeper into them and deeper into the war. And this is what Washington seems to be planning.